Okay, so this is activity 6, which is the one that sort of brings together everything that the children will have already done. It stands alone, or it can be a sort of culmination. It's probably more suitable to year 5 and 6 and to the lower end of secondary school, so key stage 2 and 3 rather than the little, very little ones. So this one is about a sweet factory which has been broken into and all the jelly babies have been stolen, and can you with the help of the RMS catch the thief. Okay, so there are several clues at the scene and several suspects. Okay, so these are our 4 suspects: Barry, Becca, Bella and Barney. Okay, each of them reads a different newspaper and uses a different pack of tissues. So we have a reference for each of those. So we have 2 newspapers, the Daily News, aka the IKEA catalogue, and the Happy Times, which is the Johnny B catalogue. And then we have 2 tissues, one called Achoo and one called Happy Nose. These are the ones that it will benefit you best if you try and turn it over to the dark side. If the children struggle to identify it, you might let them struggle to begin with and then tell them to turn it over. But one of them has a much looser weave than the other, and it's quite spectacularly different under the microscope. These are not so different, and so really there's no right or wrong answer. So what the children do is they look at these, what are called reference samples. So they're packaged up in the bag as reference samples. There's 8 of each of these in here. Okay, and each of these culprits or potential culprits actually comes with a fingerprint as well. So Becca, Bella and Barry. Okay, so that's what the children have to begin with. And then it's up to you to provide them with the clues that have been found. Now you can put these on the table or you can hide them around the classroom, and it's up to you which you give them. So each group of children will be given one or other of these 2 fingerprints, okay? And then one or other of these 2 tissues and one or other of these 2 bits of newspaper. So those are the clues. It doesn't matter which way round you get them. And the children then start to investigate these clues in connection with the reference samples and try and figure out who is more likely to have done the deed. There's a table here for them to try and put in who they think the tissue belongs to and who they think the paper belongs to. And it doesn't matter if they can or can't observe the differences. I said this one is easy, this one is harder. These fingerprints are designed so that they match with several bits of several other ones. So there's a nice sort of triangle-y bit here that matches with a bit of Barry, and it also matches with a bit of Barney. And this sort of U-shaped pattern matches with a bit of Barry really at a push, with Becca, with Bella, and probably with Barney as well at a bit of a push. So it's not really important whether they get them right or not. It's more important that they can explain why they've come up with the various things. So once they have come to their conclusions and they've assigned the clues to various suspects, they may have established somebody that's in the lead contender for having stolen the jelly babies, or they may have a good spread across the way. It doesn't matter which. The key thing now is your role in all of this. So luckily, so ideally now they would reason who they think it could be and why, and who they think it could definitely not be and why. And then on the other side of the page, the likelihood is that we'll still have some people suspected. But luckily we have one more clue. There's a jelly baby that's been found at the scene, and the jelly baby will have something pressed into it by you, the teacher. And the 4 samples that you have the option of pushing into the jelly baby for the children to look at in the microscope is sugar, herbs, sand and flour. Okay? And if you go back to these little bookmarks, Barry works in a donut factory packing the sugary donuts. So if it's the sugar, then it's him. If it's the herbs, then it's Bella. If it's the flour, then it's Becca. And if it's the sand, then it's Barry. So you can use your own judgment. So if there's one group of kids that have got really quite cocky about who they think it is and you want to take them down a peg or two, you can change the outcome. If it's a group of children that have really worked hard and reasoned well, you can make them have come to the right conclusion. And it means that every table can have a different culprit, or as the box gets passed around the schools to the different classrooms, there's no right outcome, so you can use it as many times as you like with different outcomes. So I hope that makes sense. I should just mention before I stop that the samples come in different bags. So this is your one for the jelly babies. There is a bag of reference samples, which is the first bit that the children get. There's a bag with the clues in it, which is these bits for the clues. And also I do have samples of the 4 things relating to the occupation. So sugar, herbs, sand and flour are all in this bag. So you may choose to do this and look at these, or you may have already looked at them throughout some of the other activities you've done. Okay, so that's the end of activity 6, so enjoy it.